I was thinking how humans had to become creative in order to feed everybody. If you look at the areas that are more concentrated, they had to abandon the natural human diet and procure options. They started cooking to make things a lot more easy to digest, cooking, processing, and masking their flavor with spices and other things in order to make it possible to swallow. Um, of course, there's side effects when you don't eat the natural human diet, and you can see that, you know, for instance, athletes they consume mostly carbohydrates because it is easier to digest. The body kind of chooses the path of less resistance when it's stressed, and it requires emergency energy, so it will choose glucose. So most of the things we consume turn into glucose: carbohydrates, fructose, cooked meat, anything processed, it's turned into glucose. I was amazed and not amazed because I knew when you eat cooked meat, I knew the body turns it into glucose, but I didn't think it was 70%. I thought it was like 20%. It's actually 70%. It's amazing. So even if you are a carnivore and you eat exclusively meat, 70% is going to be turned into glucose. Therefore, you are at risk of getting, diseases related to insulin resistance, you know. And I remembered there was these diseases that affected the rich, diseases like gout and that thing in the toes in which the joints started swelling. I can't remember right now the name, but it was very painful. And in some cases, back then they used to uh, even, build a sort of metallic foot so that people could walk, because it was painful just to put the foot in the ground. And those diseases affected the rich people because they just consumed too much cooked meat, barbecue, you know, grilled meat. Those diseases didn't affect the poor people though, because they just didn't had or could afford it. So it's a tricky one. How do you get around this? How do you get zero carbs? How do you get into almost, zero glucose? How do you do it? And I think I always had the answer. Sushi, steak tartare. Why does that dish exist? And it's present in all cultures, at least once a week. Steak tartare was a thing. And I thought to myself, maybe they were on to something. You see, when you cook meat, you kind of destroy the some of the nutrients, some of the minerals. You kind of destroy some of the amino acids and some of the digestive enzymes. You kind of destroy them. When you put fire into things, you alter things. You are becoming an alchemist. An alchemist puts fire into things and it changes one thing, transmutes one thing into another. You see, everything that passes through fire becomes altered. And the answer to this was to eat at least once or twice a week a dish of raw meat, because raw meat had the enzymes and the amino acids inaltered. You see, our body kind of stocks amino acids and enzymes, kind of stocks them. If you run out of amino acids and digestive enzymes, you are unable to digest anything anymore. Just the stomach acid is not enough. You can require other elements. The thing that I realize is that people don't seem to understand the body, and it's okay, you know. For instance, modern medicine, if they are able to understand like 10%, it's already, huge. For instance, the liver, apparently it has thousands of functions, and we only know, a handful of those functions that the liver does. The rest is just mystery. We just don't know. We don't know because I think it's, I don't know, spiritual. It is no longer in the realm of the physical. It's actually spiritual. But look at the pancreas. Nobody knows what it does. Some people speculate the pancreas is the one who helps you digest cooked or processed food. Without the pancreas, you couldn't digest any processed or cooked foods. I was like, really? Because the body only identifies things that are whole. When you eat raw food, raw meat or raw vegetables, they are whole. They have all the elements inaltered, and the body can identifies it and knows what to do with it. But if you pass it through the fire, it alters it. So our pancreas is like a computer that reverse engineers the processing that you've made before eating and puts the elements back in so that it can take it. You see, the body doesn't take anything that is alien. The body only takes things that it can identify. The pancreas so does that. If you have, this is just me because I'm not a specialist. If you have problems with your pancreas, you ought to do raw food only. Yeah, only raw foods. I mean, I eat steak tartare from time to time, but I stopped because I just don't trust the meat I'm getting from the supermarket and from the butcher. I just don't trust it. I tried, steak tartare with chicken. Yeah, I think you could eat it from my chickens. I have some home, eggs and chickens, and yeah, it's doable. It's doable, but I have to sprinkle with a little bit of something, I don't know, salt or something. A thing that I do is I eat raw eggs from time to time. It's not always, it's just from time to time. So if you are carnivore, for instance, decide to go on a diet of carnivore, I think the best thing would be to eat like 100 grams each take, 100 grams wide, so that you don't overwhelm the body, you know, with glucose. Yeah. So that would mean you have to take, more than 3 meals a day. You see, small portions. There's a lot, still for us to discover. I think, people have a piece of the truth. I don't see the truth, concentrated in one single person or in one single diet. I think it's a bit of everything. I mean, I couldn't eat carnivore exclusively. I just love salad, I just love some raw lettuce with raw onion. I just love it with sprinkled with a little bit of vinegar. Vinegar is actually very good for your skin and for your gut. I really like it. Fish, I like sushi. Oh, I really like it. Sushi. Of course, it has to be made by the Japanese because I tried sushi made by Portuguese and it's not that good. So there's some restaurants around here who only employ Japanese people. The sushi there is great. It's really great. Anyway, Areas around the world that are overpopulated. I mean, you can see they are overpopulated. Uh, they have to become very creative in order to find food for everybody. And you can see immediately, looking at them, that they have this belly, gigantic belly, and gigantic double chin. Not just men, women, children as well. And that's a side effect of the insulin, a side effect of too much glucose. Um, so, oh yeah, I was amazed. I was like, I thought it was 20% of when you eat cooked meat. I thought it was like 20%, but no, it's not. It's 70%. That the body, the liver, turns into glucose. It's amazing. So it's something to keep in mind, whenever you go into a diet. Oh, and another thing, it's pointless to become a defender of a diet or a promoter of a diet if you only eat from the supermarket. It's just pointless. Or if you are advocating for supplements, it just doesn't work, man. Most of them are fake. Most of them are fake. So food from a supermarket, whatever it is filled with hormones, glyphosates, herbicides, pesticides, all sorts of juice that they inject into the animals so they can live, antibiotics. And wow, it's just not logical to try to advocate for a diet if you buy from the supermarket. It just doesn't make any sense. So if you say I am this, I am that, you have to you know get your food from traditional agriculture, traditional farmers, the traditional way of doing everything. That's the only way. you know Wild game, I don't know. In a situation of survival, maybe, but wild game is it's actually very hard to eat because it's tough. It's mainly muscle. It doesn't have almost any fat, and it's riddled with parasites. So wild game, eh, I prefer farmed raised. We humans, we grow animals in the most comfortable situations so they can become delicious. You know what I mean? We even play music, in some farms, so that the animals grow up healthy and in peace, and we grow them to be delicious. you know. And by the way, all these farm animals, they wouldn't survive without us. If you look at nature, it's ruthless. It's ruthless. If you were to release one of the farm animals, a cow, pig, whatever, chicken, they would be immediately, you know, processed by, Mother Nature, taken care of. It would be immediately woof. So anyway, I'm starving. I'm talking about food and stuff, and I'm starving. I haven't had any breakfast yet. I just didn't feel like it. So, all right, I think I'm gonna shut up. Have a nice day.